Okay, so um, after zip tying, well, I guess I already had this zip tied up and out of the way. I guess I could even move that more. I'm just trying to make this as easy as possible to get this cover out of here. Um, I'm almost in the clear. Actually, I think I am in the clear. I've managed for the first time ever, which is awesome, to get this air switch valve, vacuum, whatever the fuck that thing is, out of there. You can finagle it. It will come out. I got a little caught up on this piece that looks like it has a bunch of tape on it in there, but I just took it over into this corner, and I ended up getting it through, up and out here. Didn't seem too much of a concern. There's no real stress on this tube here. Not sure exactly what that is. Probably for overflow, like everything else has. I'm not sure. Or it looks like it's part of the sensor, actually. So that might be kind of a big deal. You want to be careful. This was kind of not too hard. Just keep pushing. Like, get that shit off. Like, it clicked, and then I had to push it even more, and then it finally popped off. So if you have sensitive fingertips, you might have a problem, but I don't really. So I got it off there pretty good. Also, there's a blue. You can see it right here. That came undone pretty easily. That goes in the end here. So unclip that. Undo the hose from the top of the motor, and pull this bad boy out and out of the way. I think that might have been my biggest issue. So now at this point, I'm actually going to try and maybe reach in there and clean up a little bit. I got them holes open. I'm a little concerned, but after that, I am going to remove the cover. I'm going to try and get a good angle so you can maybe see me doing it. And yeah, so we'll see how that goes. See how easy I get it out this time. See if I can do it without swearing. I have had an issue with this before. I've experienced it all, actually. My first time tanking it off, there are spark plug hole gaskets, and those are probably the biggest concern. There's 2 dowel pins underneath the cover here, but they seem to be in place pretty good, so I do check for them. I've tried taking them out and they won't come out, so it's pretty awesome. And so all I gotta worry about is those damn spark plug gaskets, and if I've had 2 of them fucking fall off on me, one was right in the middle of the valve train, so that was actually pretty easy to recover. Very easy, actually. In the middle of the motor here, there's not too much to worry about. I don't think there's anything really to worry about at all. It's right here in the camshaft, or the freaking whatever you want to call it. The cam chain tunnel here. And if one night I didn't come out here and drop one of them motherfuckers down there, and I'd say it went to about right here, and it got stuck between the chains, luckily. I had the tensioner in, thank Jesus. Yeah, I ended up very carefully fabricating a clothes hanger into a perfectly straight fucking hook, and I fished it out of here, and I could barely see it, and I had like barely a view at it, but I got it out of there, and happiest day of my life. Freaking went inside, and just what a relief to get that out of there. So be really careful. A tip, I'm going to try it this time. I'm going to loosen these valve cover bolts, And then I'm going to crack this lid. Now those gaskets are in the middle here, so you've got to bring them over in order for them to fall down. And having a problem getting this valve cover off is going to scrape those against your cam chain guide. And that's how they ended up popping off. So maybe this time I'll have enough clearance, it won't be a problem. But anyway, I'm going to loosen these bolts, lift this cover, and I'm going to stuff a rag down this camshaft tunnel before I even try and remove this fucking thing. So if anything does come off, maybe my rag will save me. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, so I have managed to get all of the bolts out of the top here. I believe it was a 12 millimeter wrench I used to get those bolts out of there. Really simple. There are oil gaskets. Two of mine stayed. So, and they're there pretty good, so I'm not going to mess with them. And two came off. Now I have those bolts on my workbench, corresponding to the direction of this cover. At this point, I am going to take this rag and try and do what I said. And I don't know if that's going to work or not. I should have got a smaller rag, but right now I'm going to lift this valve cover. And I'm going to turn that coolant pipe I was telling you about earlier. So let's try that. There is a... Oh boy. I actually had this fall into the motor the first time. I forgot. And it's rubber. So be careful. Under this valve cover, next to this coolant pipe, there is a damper. And it may seem attached, but it's not. It fits into the upper side of the valve cover, and it dampers the force between the coolant pipe and the top of the valve cover. So make sure you don't lose that thing. It is a small rubber piece on the left side of the valve cover here, where that bump is next to the coolant pipe. So be careful. I'm going to lift this, see what it's looking like. Alright, so my damper is stuck in the valve cover. Technically I would like to remove that, so that's what I'm going to try and do now. Just then I turn that coolant pipe out of the way. I might just make sure that's in there good, and then try and remove this. But yeah, I think I'm ready for removal, so I'm gonna give it a try. See how it goes. I'm gonna try it without the rag, because okay, where it looks like oh wow. Oh wow. Okay. So the air switching valve was definitely the culprit in getting this fucking thing out, because that was much easier than I've done at other times. So hell fucking yeah, it looks like I've still got one of the spark plug gaskets down in here yet. If you see that. Where is it? Oh, can you see it? Where is it? There it is. See around that hole? See how there's nothing here? No black ring. There's like a black ring. Man, I'm not getting a good shot at all on this. But anyway, yes, there's a gasket in there. I'm going to reach in there and grab it. come right out. Now, you want to remember what side was what. So metal side was down into the motor. So this was what we got. Got the metal rings, just in case you lose it or flips around. The metal edge points out here. Okay, well, that was awesome. I've never had such an easy time getting that out of there. I should actually go check that damper now. Wow, I forgot about that. I'm an idiot. There it is, though. See that plug? That just kind of, it came out the first time, but it seems to be staying there now. So that's pretty cool. Everything's out. These, I believe these are dowel pins in the middle. You see them? But mine haven't coming out. So I don't know if that's what those are or what, but definitely be careful of those two, just in case. Next, I am going to, I think I might just check the clearances since I have it open just one more fucking time. And compare them to my old numbers. And this will be like the 4th time. So I'm going to do that. Okay. So I've turned the motor over until I've seen a 1T. I don't know if you can see that. Definitely says 1T. And I've got it lined up. The tab inside and the black tab on the outside here. And my cam lobes are facing away from one another. Now is the appropriate time to take clearance measurements on the first cylinder here. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to turn it over till 2T. I'm going to make sure the cam lobes on the other side are facing away from each other, and then I'm going to take the clearance on those as well. And we'll see how that goes for the 4th time, 3rd, 4th time, can't even remember. And I'll let you know. Okay, so we took the valve clearance check, still out of spec. Leads me to believe I've been doing this accurately and I need an adjustment. Set my motor to top dead center, 2T on the 2nd cylinder with cam lobes facing away from one another. I then removed the cam chain tensioner. It's located right here. I ended up getting it with the combination of wrenches and this ratchet and an extension here. So that bolt in the back was kind of a bitch. Like that bottom one, it's just hard to get to, and just not caring for that a whole lot at all. Looks like a little oil is dripping out of there. Looks like antifreeze. Uh-oh. Anyway, fucking cam chain tensioner came out. Real easy. Manual states to back both side bolts out evenly. You can see it leaning as it's coming out. It does have tension. You do want to get those out of there evenly. I just left the middle bolt in. That's actually got to come off. Maybe I should have loosened it on the bike. It may have been easier. Yeah, now that I think about it. But now I've got to get that off, and that's how you reinstall the cam chain tensioner. You do that by taking out that bolt, sticking in a screwdriver, and turning it. I'll have to check, and you should check too, either counterclockwise or clockwise. One of them being the wrong way, that will actually break your tensioner. So make sure you're turning it in the right direction. I'm going to check on that here in a moment. So that releases the tension from your chain. Then you are allowed to start loosening the bolts on the cam shaft. There's a certain order you're supposed to do it in, starting with these. The cam chain guide gets loosened first. Then I believe it was the intake side, and then the exhaust. There is a certain order. As you can see, I've got them all loosened up. I'm not even sure if I'm going to take the intake side out. My intake was in spec. It's my exhaust that needs it. Little tip I learned from a video I seen somewhere, and I believe that's what this is made for. These little tie rod looking things or whatever. I have them on the floor over here, if you can see. Those actually have bolts that go through them that holds the camshaft cover on, and you take those out of those holes and you actually screw them in to these holes, and you screw them in nice and solid, and I believe that gives you a foundation to grab this thing out of there because it's on there. So I kind of you don't want to damage it. I've kind of tapped them with a hammer before, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to tap them with a hammer, maybe loosen that up for me, and I'm going to try and wiggle that out of here. Now this thing has dowel pins under it. So each one of these holes, there's a dowel pin, and you do want to keep your eye on those. So right under this cover, I'll show you after I get it out. Let me see. Sorry about this. Oh boy, this ain't even gonna work. Okay, there we go. Let's see if I can get it out. I'm gonna find my hammer. Handy dandy. And I don't see it. What the fuck? This is when you're supposed to have your tools ready. Oh, I see it. Okay. Now I'm just going to very lightly, I'm going to wipe off my hammer. Ooh. Holy shit. This fucking hammer was filthy. And if I would have just knocked that over my fucking motor, that would have been dumb. Dumb, fucking dumb. Holy shit. Let me check on that. Oh my god, I'm so glad I didn't just fucking do that. Dude, this thing is covered. I don't even want to fucking use it. Not using that hammer. I gotta look at that. Alright, looks like I lucked out. Holy shit. God, that would have been so fucking bad. Okay, clean tool. Let's get my ratchet. Maybe we'll give it a little bump. What is that? Okay. See you. There we go. Got it cracked. Okay. Now, probably should have done this a while ago, but it's not too late. I'm gonna stuff a rag in here. And we're going to be careful when we pull this thing out of here. Okay. Hopefully that's enough. Oh! You hear that? Okay. Okay. So, I lost one of these motherfuckers somewhere. Okay. I see it. So there's 2 dowel pins, it looks like. Glad I stuffed that fucking camshaft, huh? I don't know if you heard that or not. But... Okay, so now I got my handy dandy magnet. And it actually fell behind the radiator fan here, so let's replace that. And so yeah, I successfully have gotten that out of there without fucking anything up too bad. So I think I'm just gonna tighten up these intake ones. I don't even know if those are gonna have to come out. And that should allow me to pull the exhaust side out here. Yeah, so I'm going to try and do that. Now we've got to make sure that I don't drop this fucking chain into my case, because that's a bigger problem I don't want to deal with. So we're going to zip tie that to the frame here. And I've done it before, and it seems to work pretty good. So I'm gonna get that ready. Okay, where was I? Okay, we got the cover out, got that freaking dowel pin out of there. I have secured my cam chain to some zip ties. I was just thinking, I bet a bungee cord would be a lot easier. So maybe take note of that. At this point, I have the cam free, and I'm gonna try and I'm gonna go on the other side here. Actually, you know what? I forgot a part, and it's right here. And you can just take your screwdriver, stick it right under that middle part there, right in the middle, and lift. And I believe this has dowel pins as well, so be very careful. Just kind of pry and pay attention, because you can see them here. There's 2 of them, and it looks like one's coming out with it, and one is staying. Okay, that was kind of scary. That dowel pin started coming out on me. They both seem pretty loose. I don't know if I should pull those or not. I do not want to drop them down in there. I know this. So I'm actually going to leave those. They look pretty secure. I'm going to go set this over on my table just how I grabbed it. So I'll put that right back how it was. It's actually marked exhaust and intake, so that works out pretty good. So now, let's see. I don't know if I have this chain too tight right now, or what's going on here, but seems to me that this should be popping out of there. Bam! So I just pried it a little bit. Seemed to do it. Let's see if I can wiggle this out of here. Okay, there it is. Bam. Try and get it off this chain. There's my chain. I'm keeping hold of that. And looks like I got my camshaft out on this side. set that down momentarily. I'm real freaked out about this chain, so I like to keep it extra tight if I can. See if I can. Okay. Seems to be working a bit. Okay, I think I got it. I'm pretty sure that's safe. It's hanging. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's good. So, okay. Alright. I hope you guys appreciate this, because this ain't about a bitch and a half. Busted my knuckle. I don't know if you've seen that earlier. That was getting them freaking cam chain covers off. So, what do they say? What was I doing? I was fucking pushing. And just caught fucking edge something over there and got me pretty good. So, careful. Okay. This is the cool part. This is where, if you make it this far, you might be one of the cool kids. Fucking, pretty neat. Check out your motor. See, I'm not really sure what to look for if there was damage, but everything looks pretty good in here. I'll give you a view. Okay, so we are in this bitch. Man, it's getting darker. I think this flashlight's dying or something. Used to be brighter. Anyway, what do we got? You got your buckets in here. This is where your shims lie. They're underneath these buckets. My first time pulling them out, I had some of them come out pretty easy. Some of them come out a little rougher than the next. Magnet. That's the key here. So get yourself a magnet. And that's going to pull these buckets out of there. And all I have to do at this point, because I've pulled those buckets and measured my shims with my digital caliper here. Sure, you've probably gotten one yourself. I got this Harbor Freight real cheap. This is how I took my measurements. Seems pretty accurate. I found what I needed. Ordered the shims online. These are the shims. And basically I just need to take the old shims on my out of spec valves and replace them with these shims. That's just a fork seal. I've actually done that repair. It's another video. I don't know if I'll get around to doing that, but I've actually messed around a little bit with the forks. So I've got the fork seal down, and if I ever need that. So, but anyway, yeah, these are the shims, and so now it's just a matter of me pulling these buckets. I'm there, taking the old shim out and putting that new shim in. Now, after I do that, I'm going to reassemble this cam. I'm going to make sure the timing, you have to reset the timing on this thing, is correct. I've done it once before. Just want to be very, very, very careful about that. It's a major thing. You want that timing to be dead on. It's actually, here's my camshaft. Probably go take care of that, huh? Okay, so I've got my stuff laid out here. The timing, if you can see it here, there are timing marks on the wheel. I know this is horrible, guys. I'm so sorry. But if you can see it right there, there's a mark and it says EX. And you line that up with your valve head on both sides. And I really I highly suggest getting yourself a manual. Just go online, download one, buy one, whatever you got to do. Just get yourself a manual. And yeah, you got to set this timing back. You want to check and make sure that the marks, I don't know if you can see it down there. See it? The intake is lined up with the valve head. And you want the exact to be on the exhaust the same way. Now, you want to count the pins in your cam chain links. And that's what really determines your timing. So you might have those two marks lined up where you need them, but you better have the fucking specific amount of pins showing above the valve cover head. The same as in the diagram. I believe it's 36 pins. I'm not sure. But that's what it's got to be. It's 36 pins. Double check that. From this side to this side. And it needs to be perfect. And that's probably the most... Getting this shaft back on with that chain and everything lined back up perfectly with the right amount of links where they need to be. It's kind of tough. I want to say it took me 20 minutes the first time. We'll see about this time. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and pull these buckets the best of my ability and replace these fucking shims. Jesus. Okay. So, I got the buckets out. Shims are in there. Took the measurements again. So now all I have to do is swap these for these. And then I need to reassemble my bike camshaft. And then I need to recheck the clearances. Hopefully everything goes good. And yeah, this will be my first adjustment. And I tell you, if this doesn't make you feel like a fucking man, I don't know what will. 'Cause learning and teaching myself this, and it just feels like a really good, like, big accomplishment for me. I really like this bike. Fucking Ninja 300's awesome. It definitely can do wheelies. Don't know why, if that's why I had that fork issue or not, but I've actually had a leak on this before, and it's gonna kind of chalk that up as a learning experience. So I just read and educated myself and figured out how motors work, and I think the Ninja 300 is actually the perfect bike if you want to learn how to do work yourself. I can't afford to be paying somebody money all the time while my bike's being unridden, so I'm just really trying to take care of it and have this thing for a long time, and I may upgrade to a bigger bike in the future, but I like this bike, and definitely learned on it. This is gonna definitely prepare me for my next endeavor, whatever that may be. But yeah, there it is. Valve check, adjustment, reassemble in the order you took it apart. Get the manual, read it, and shit. Get out there and have fun. And hope you guys liked the video, and yeah, that's it. So I'll talk at you guys later. Peace.